Okay, so today we are going to start playing a little bit more with the transform tools. So I'm going to show you some of the basics of transform and some other interesting things that you can do. So go ahead and pull up file01transform.psd. Now the reason why I have this as a PSD instead of a JPEG is because you'll notice if you grab your move tool, the cat is sitting on a transparent background. Okay. So, in order to transform, you remember to enter free transform, it's Command or Control T. Okay, some of the basics again. By clicking outside of the box, if you hover around any of the corners, okay, any of these white boxes, you can rotate your object. Okay. Grabbing it on the corner allows you to scale your object. If you want to scale and not keep the aspect ratio, remember that's right up here. You hold down Shift, okay, and you can pull things long or shrink them down, okay, if you want to distort. In order to apply a transformation, just hit Return or Enter. Okay. And to step back, we're going to hit Command Z. So, a couple of things that you can do with the Transform tool. I'm going to hit Command T to enter Transform, okay, or Control T. If you hold down Control or Command and grab any of the corners, you see how your arrow turns white? That allows you to skew things. Okay, so you can actually transform things into perspective this way. Okay, if you hold down, let me return it. If you hold down Command or Control and click that center on the top or the bottom or on the sides, okay, you can skew things up and down this way. Okay. Now, anytime you transform and when you are rotating your objects, if you click and drag around the outside, you notice it spins around the middle. Okay, you can change that. If you hold down Alt, you'll see there's a set of, they're real tiny, you can't see them very well, even if I zoom in because it keeps it the same size. There we go, you can kind of see it there. See how there's like 4 little directional arrows that form a diamond underneath of that? That is your center transform point. Okay, you will transform around this point. So if I click out here, for example, I've just set that. Now when I rotate, okay, see how it rotates around that area that I've set? So again, holding down Alt allows you to rotate around wherever you click. Okay. So I'm going to show you a couple of fun things that you can do. I'm going to go ahead and set my transform out here. I'm going to rotate this and I'm going to shrink it just a little bit, hit return to apply my transformation. Okay. That Command Z, I'll go back to where I was before. Okay. If I hit Control or Command Shift T, okay, that will reapply the transformation. Right? And that's kind of neat, but what's even more neat, I think, okay, is once you have done this, okay, if you do Command or Control Alt Shift, you hold all 3 of those keys down, every time you hit T, not only will it reapply the transformation, okay, but it will make a copy. Okay, so yes, you can very quickly create abominations. Now here's the issue. Let me drag the layers palette out here. You see how many layers I have? Okay, and this can be, let's imagine you're doing this multiple places and you're filling up your whole work surface with this. Okay, I now have 24 copies. So some of the things that you can do. If you hit Command or Control E, when you have a layer highlighted, it will merge it with the layer down from it. So you notice as I keep hitting E, holding down Command or Control, okay, it merges all the layers together. So I can merge them all into one layer. So what were individual layers before is now one layer. Okay. The other way you can do that that's a little bit faster If I click my top layer, then hold Shift and click my bottom layer, it selects all those layers, and if I hit Control E or Command E, or I go to Layer, Merge Layers, okay, oops, that will also do it. Okay. Now let's suppose you want to do something like this, okay, but you want to keep them separate, but you also want to have it not look quite as messy here on your layer palette. Okay, if I select my layers, I'm going to select the top one, hold Shift, and select the last one. If I hit Command or Control plus G, that will put them into a group. Okay, so you see the group here, it has a folder, and if I click on the arrow next to it, right, I can still come in and individually play with, right, separate aspects of the layer here. Okay, and then when I close the group again, okay, right, they're still all grouped together. Now you will notice, like as I move it, if I want to move the entire group, I need to make sure my Move tool is set to Group up here. So instead of Layer, we want Group. And if I do that, now I can move it all together. Okay, so it's kind of a little bit of a pain to have to switch between the two, right? But much easier than trying to try and move an entire thing and move like 50 of these. So here's what I want you to do for the practice. I want you to go ahead and take the cat. I want you to transform it in some way or another. Okay, in this case, to give an example, I'm going to go ahead and shear it a little bit, okay, and shrink it down just a bit, move it up here, and then rotate it, and hit return. Okay, I'm going to hit Command Z to return to my original state. Now I'm going to hit Command Alt Shift T, and every time I do this, it's going to reapply the transformation. Okay, there we go, I caught up. Okay, so I want you to go ahead and give this a shot, play around with it a little bit, try multiple things, and see what sort of like abominations you can come up with.